Dozens of Israeli settlers launched arson attacks targeting a Palestinian warehouse, a Bedouin village, and farmland in the north of the occupied West Bank on Tuesday. Several Palestinians were injured. The incidents were the latest in a recent surge in settler violence coinciding with the olive harvest season, when Palestinians head to their agricultural land around towns and villages. It comes just after the UN's humanitarian office said the number of violent attacks by settlers last month was the highest since it began collecting figures nearly 20 years ago. Israel has built about 160 settlements housing 700,000 Jews since it occupied the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Land Palestinians want, along with Gaza, for a hoped-for future state during the 1967 Middle East War. An estimated 3.3 million Palestinians live alongside them. The settlements are illegal under international law. Footage from Tuesday shows dozens of masked men on a hillside east of Tulkarm. A Palestinian warehouse in Beit Lid was attacked, with lorries set on fire. Tents can be seen ablaze in the Bedouin village of Deir Sharaf, with the sound of women shouting in the background. Palestinian Authority Minister Muayed Shoban, the head of the Wall and Settlement Resistance Commission, said the attacks were part of a campaign to impose a hostile environment through intimidation and terror. The Israel Defense Forces IDF said that troops went to the scene to disperse the confrontation using riot dispersal means and apprehended several Israeli civilians. It added that soldiers were then attacked by settlers gathering nearby and their vehicle was damaged. Israeli police stated that 4 suspects were arrested. In a post on X, Israeli President Isaac Herzog called the latest events shocking and serious, blaming a handful of violent and dangerous individuals. He went on, "Such violence against civilians and against IDF soldiers crosses a red line and I condemn it severely." The head of the IDF Central Command, Major General Avi Bluth, also condemned the attacks, saying that such incidents undermine the stability of the security situation. The reality in which anarchist fringe youth act violently against innocent civilians and against security forces is unacceptable and is extremely serious. It must be dealt with firmly, he told officers in comments sent by the Israeli military. The directive to IDF soldiers is clear. Do not stand idly by and do everything in your power to prevent any act of nationalist crime. The large-scale attack on Tuesday was a rare instance of Israeli law enforcement acting to counter settler violence, which has increased dramatically since the Hamas-led attacks on Israel on the 7th of October 2023 triggered the Gaza war. The UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs (OCHA) says that October saw more than 260 Israeli settler attacks resulting in casualties, property damage or both, an average of 8 incidents per day. It reports that settler violence during the olive harvest has reached the highest level recorded in recent years, with about 150 attacks documented so far, resulting in the injury of more than 140 Palestinians and the vandalism of more than 4,200 trees and saplings across 77 villages. Since the start of the year, some 1,500 settler attacks have been recorded. The UN's Emergency Relief Coordinator, Tom Fletcher, recently wrote on X, "The failure to prevent or punish such attacks is inconsistent with international law. Palestinians must be protected. Impunity cannot prevail. Perpetrators must be held accountable." Palestinians and human rights groups often accuse the IDF of protecting or aiding extremist settlers. On Tuesday, hundreds of mourners attended the funeral of 13-year-old Essam Mualla in Baita, near Nablus. He was reported to have been in a coma since inhaling tear gas fired by the IDF as villagers were picking their olives last month near the settler outpost of Eviatar. In some cases, Israeli activists and foreign volunteers have come to help Palestinian farmers during the olive harvest and have been attacked too. On Saturday, videos from Baida posted to social media showed masked men using clubs to beat local Palestinians and volunteer paramedics, as well as a Reuters news agency photographer and security advisor. An Israeli civilian, the 77-year-old head of a Tel Aviv art college, who had joined the harvest, was also photographed with blood streaming down his face.